This week's parsha VaYechi deals with the last thoughts and words of Ya'akov, our Avinu, and Yosef. It opens with what amounts to the first realization of Yaakov that he is about to perish. And he sends for Yosef, his son, and he has Yosef promise that he will bury him in Eretz Yisrael, specifically the Ma'arat HaMachpelah, and he makes him take a formal oath, actually. After that, Yosef leaves, and then it's told to Yosef that Yaakov doesn't use the exact words, but the expression is shachiv be'ra. He's on his deathbed. In other words, his death is very imminent. So Yosef comes, and he comes with his two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, and he asks for his father's bracha on them. And he very cheerfully gives it. He marvels at the idea that he's even seeing Yosef because he had given up for dead at the time he was sold for slavery. And even more so that he's seeing his children as well. He gives them the blessing is basically for God's providence, the same providence that he himself has had, should be extended to Ephraim and Manasseh's grandchildren, and that his name should be associated, that they should be the ones who are carrying the family name, so to speak, as well as that they should be fertile, have a lot of children, the big progeny. They should be a nation, and they should be a congregation of nations. He also mentions Rachel, his wife, and he also mentions the God that blessed him at Luz, also called Beit El. Luz is mentioned first in the beginning of parshas VaYechi, when Yaakov is fleeing from his brother Esav, and it's mentioned again after Yaakov returns to the Holy Land, and he has an amicable meeting with Esav. And in both cases, God appears to Yaakov, and he promises him the land of Israel, basically for his descendants. After that, what Yaakov does is he gathers his 12 sons around him, essentially has a call for family unity, not entirely heated, and then he gives all of them what the Chumash calls a bracha, but it's not a bracha typically in what the conventional sense, where you're giving blessed with good health or wisdom. It's more a case of his final impressions of his sons, the feelings of a loving father for his children. It's often poetic with rhythm, rhyme, imagery. As an example, Zavulyan Lechof Hayam Yishkon V'hu Lechof Aniyah Yirachaso Ad Sidon. It rhymes. In the case of a God, or I should return, the blessing is for financial prosperity, that he'll be a merchant and he'll live on the seashore where ships are, including the port of Sidon, Sidon. In the case of God, it's a case, let me find it, please bear with me. God, well, repeating, God Gadud Yegudenu V'hu Yagud Akev. Repetition of the name or the word God. God can be translated to mean raiders, okay? Raiders will raid, and he will raid them back well. Playing with his name like a shall we say almost a rhyme or a phrase that keeps going through his mind. In the case of Yizacher, it's imagery. Yizacher is a large boned donkey, meaning he's very strong. He rovates Bein HaMishpatim, playing with the word pen, but it's also the word land or family. That he's the one who's the strong one about the family. And it says that he saw that rest was good and that the land was good, and he became, it says, Lamas Oved, that he's the donkey that's always turning a profit. He's strong, but he likes to take it easy too. He's a hard worker. He likes the land, family man. That's the idea of God, but it's the imagery that is conveyed within the verse, and through this impression, it's like the bracha of what the child really is like. The best in his soul is what emerges. That's the idea of these 12 brachas. After that, he reiterates his desire to be buried at the Ma'arat HaMachpelah in Hebron. The idea of sacred shrines, again, is being emphasized. One is obviously Hebron, burial place of the patriarchs. The other loses the site of the temple. He also, as I said, he mentioned his wife Rachel. It's at this point, after stressing the importance of his burial place, that this is where Avraham and Sarah are buried, where Yitzchak and Rivka are buried, and this is where he buried his wife Leah as well. He wants to be buried there. That's the last thing he says. At that point, he actually expires. The idea of Eretz Israel is again stressed with the death of Yosef, which is the absolute end of the book of Bereshit, where Yosef has his brothers swear to him, and the idea is to adjure the entire nation that they will take his remains out of Egypt and bury him in the land of Israel when the Exodus actually comes. Okay? The lessons we learn from this are about what is paramount in the Jewish soul? The first thing is the idea of religion, because the first thing that Yaakov focuses on is on the blessings and the providence he has had from God, as well as God's promises to him, and which is about the hopes for his children in the land of Israel. You also have the theme of sacred shrines, specifically the temple, that's Luz, and the Ma'arat HaMachpelah, the burial place of the patriarchs in Hebron. You also have the idea that the woman that a man loves stays on his mind, mentioning Rachel and Leah and Rivka and Sarah. And the final idea is of peace in the family. The idea of Luz is the idea of the hostility of Esav, and then the subsequent peace with Esav as well. And you also have the idea of the blessing of his children, which is that there should be peace in the family, that they should gather all around, and in this they will bring the redemption, and that the best in the souls of his children should be brought out and manifest.